Hi, how are you? I'm great. Had some amazing breakfast, and now I'm on my way to a store called Jysk, which is the worst. Wow, second only after IKEA as the worst store to visit. Furniture, household stuff, and so pray for me, please. Yeah, I wanted to do this video about. I did this video the other day about 6 things that I like about Prague. I've been living in Prague in the Czech Republic now for 13 years, and there are certain things that I like and certain things that I don't like. I mean, the 6 is not just the final infinite number, or yeah, the definite number. It's just those things that are kind of more frequently on my mind. And so I did 6 things that I like, and now I want to do 6 things that I don't like. You can subscribe to the channel. It's in either corner, and then I think you can put like an alert, so every time there is a new video you will get an alert when that I drop something new. And you can also check out my podcast, the Bla Bla Bunker, which is usually on Thursdays, a new episode. And it's on Spotify, Apple Podcast and all that. But I also put the episodes here on YouTube, but it's not with video, so it's not like super cool. I mean, there are 3 episodes I think that I have with video, which, you know, but the rest of them is audio only, so it's not like great YouTube experience. Yeah, the Bla Bla Bunker on Spotify, Apple and Google Podcasts, and all the other smaller ones as well. So yeah, the 6 things that I don't like about Prague. I mean, first thing is actually the same that I liked about Prague, that no one cares. So in a way, that's a nice and a bad thing. It's nice in the sense that you have the total freedom just to do whatever the fuck you want. The negative part about it is that whenever you need, you cannot, there's no random act of kindness from a stranger here. You know, like if you need some help, I wouldn't want to fall down on the street here with a heart attack because people just walk by and they wouldn't help me. And you know, you can never count on someone just, yeah, doing something for no reason. And for me, for example, you know, it has happened sometimes that I help someone homeless who fell on the street or something, and I can see that the people who pass by, they look at me like there's something wrong with me, you know, like, but I mean, obviously, why wouldn't you help a stranger? You know, like, I would want strangers to help me. So that doesn't really exist here, and people don't really care. The other thing, which maybe ties a little bit to that first point, so the second point maybe ties a little bit to that, is that there's a horrible service mentality here, and there is a joke. Some of the comedians here say that, yeah, I came to Prague for the language because the language is crazy, and I stayed for the customer service because there is no such thing as a customer service here. And actually, in my previous job, the company that I was working for, we had our service center here, and once me and one of the guys, we were flying together somewhere, and he said to me, "Listen, Almar, we're doing something crazy. We're trying to export service from the country in the world that has the worst service." So if you go into a public office, they exercise their power. They are doing you a favor. They're not working for you. They're at their mercy, and they exercise that power at will. And in private sector, you know, like you often feel like that you're disturbing someone, and the person that is supposed to be serving you, you're paying their salaries. I don't think that they make that connection here, that without customers there is no money. And I don't feel that, you know, even if I repeatedly go to the same store, same restaurant, that I build some sort of a loyalty to them, you know, that, or, well, me, loyalty, yeah, well, I obviously do because I go frequently, but they don't build loyalty to me, which is really, really weird. And it has improved, definitely, in those 13 years. I mean, part of it in the beginning was a language barrier because people here are not super comfortable speaking English all the time, and which I do understand, but yeah, it's still like very much short-term thinking. And that maybe ties to point number 3, which is that it can be full of tourists. There are maybe 2 months per year here where tourism goes down a little bit during the winter, like, I don't know, January, February, but most other months it's packed, and that also opens up let's say it gives the ones that have shitty service, it gives them a chance to survive, because there is always a new stupid tourist that drops in. So if you have a great location in the city center, and you know there are millions of people walking by every year, you know some of them are going to come in, even if you have horrible service, bad food, bad coffee, overpriced, etc. So it is a tourist city, and in some way that supports that bad service mentality that I mentioned in earlier, and also, you know, living in a city where, you know, parts of it are kind of off limits for you because it's just so crowded, and you know, like, and people are, you know, queuing everywhere outside monuments or something. It kind of means that when you live here, you don't really go to those landmarks, you know, and those beautiful places. I tend to go there when someone is visiting that hasn't seen the city or something like that, but I don't, you know, in my own free time, I wouldn't go to those places. And the fourth thing, which I also it's changing, but it isn't, you know, it's that anything that is quality is considered luxury, and that is like it's marketed like that, you know, something that, like, I don't know, we in Scandinavia take for granted as just part of our everyday things is maybe considered a luxury product here and sold extremely pricey and available in very few stores, etc. So, and I think it's, you know, like, historically there wasn't a big middle class here, so that there was rich people and poor people, and I think a lot of the business environment here hasn't kind of tuned into the fact that now there is a middle class and there is actually a demand for better quality. It doesn't have to be luxury, because I see it differently. I mean, luxury could be something rare, could be something, I don't know, like Russian caviar or something, but then sell Bulgarian caviar, which is quality but not like luxury, and that is, yeah, that's a thing that bothers me a little bit, that I still have a feeling that it's only for the rich, certain things, which for me should be available to everyone and priced accordingly, because I think if you price some of these things a little bit cheaper, you will just sell more and you make more gross wise, you know, you'll make more money off it than you do now. Yeah, and I'm in the car, so the next point is very relevant. The traffic mentality and driver's mentality is fucking bizarre, you know, like you know, like, you almost always when you drive, you just get someone right on your tail and there's in a super hurry only for you to catch up with them on the next red light, you know, and then you smile at them and they're pissed off, you know, and drivers here are angry, they hate bicycles, they don't like motorbikes, and pedestrians, that's the worst, you know, like hardly anyone stops for you on a crossing on a zebra, you know, like, unless there's a traffic light, they just won't stop. So the hierarchy here is cars, motorbikes, bicycles, pedestrians, and I think part of this is also coming kind of from the communism and that people didn't have money. So having a car is sort of a symbol, you know, it's a status symbol, and it's an empowerment. Like, you're better than the rest. And I remember once there was a girl that I was seeing that when I told her that I rode the public transport, then she was like, she looked at me like there was something wrong with me, because that's the wrong way to show who you are, you know, and everybody should drive a car if they could afford it. And I was like, I don't really need a car. Now I have a car, but just for those videos, you know. And so yeah, they honk their horn, you know, they drive faster than necessary, and they're always in a hurry, and they're really, really quick to get pissed off. But the good thing about it, actually, I was a car that almost drove over me. I was crossing a street, and he stopped and started screaming out the window. And when I went to him and I screamed at him in Icelandic, "Anskotans helvítis djöfusins fáið ertu," something like this. Now I'm in the dark. There's a really weird sunny weather here now. He got scared. So, and that's the thing. They seem threatening in the beginning, but once you go at them and you go back with them, and especially when you do it in Icelandic or English, then they actually back down. So if you ever get into trouble with a Czech person or Czech driver or a bad service somewhere, then, you know, just go in full force. Let them think that you're gonna beat them up, and they will back down. What was the sixth thing? I don't remember what that was. I think, yeah, it's that kind of skepticism and mistrust. You know, like there is a very deep rooted lack of trust here, which also comes from communism. I mean, all culture comes from historical evolvement and blah, blah, blah. And people here genuinely don't trust each other. So when you need to do something simple, I don't know, start a bank account or something, I often feel like, shit, am I buying the fucking bank? I'm signing so many papers, there are so many documents, I need to verify my signature and this and that, I need to show ID, and some of it goes to a point where actually it's hard to do business because they are so much making sure that nothing is missing, every detail is checked, every bureaucrat is satisfied somehow, and this for me comes from a lack of trust. People don't, and yeah, that came also in the first point, this kind of random act of kindness. These things just somehow don't exist here, you know, that you shake hands on something and then it's gonna happen, and skepticism on, you know, if I'm nice to someone, they will think that I want something from them, or I'm expecting something back. Maybe I'm just naive and stupid because I'm from a small community in Iceland where you kind of, you know, just do those things and you kind of know it's going to come back from the cosmos somehow, you know, and you don't even necessarily think about it. You just know you can count on your fellow citizens somehow to be there for you if in your worst, you know, when you have some big problem, and that doesn't exist here, and it's also skepticism towards new ideas and changes, which, especially if you come and say, yeah, but in Germany, you know, like it works. Yeah, but Czech mentality. But the thing is, in reality, Czech mentality or Czech society has invented a lot of cool stuff. They have a lot of startups. They have a lot of new innovation. They have a lot of cool new brands. Some of it's being expanded. There are companies expanding here into the neighboring countries with technical solutions and so on. So actually, I think that this whole Czech mentality thing is kind of a myth in some sense. I think that's it, guys. I mean, check out the video about the things that I like about Prague, because I know that I'll get a lot of pushback on this one because it's easy to insult people, but I don't really give a shit. And yeah, you check out what I like, and then I did the same about Iceland. I did what I like about Iceland, what I don't like about Iceland. Subscribe to the channel and stay tuned for the next one. Have a great day. See you guys.